Good morning, everybody. My name's Rebecca. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're coming back from my previous videos or if you're new here, welcome. I just wanted to talk a little bit about some positive things I experienced since being postpartum. I am going to be a year postpartum in about a little under 2 weeks, so I've just been thinking about the whole experience and thought it would be fun to talk to you guys about the positive experiences I've had, as well as little habits that I did to help myself feel better overall. Also, if you hear some banging in the background, my washing machine is unbalanced, so sorry about that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So I will be looking at my phone. I have some notes on my phone to help myself stay on track. So I will say one of the main reasons why I wanted to record this was because when I was getting ready to give birth, like the last month of pregnancy, every time I got online, I was seeing so many negative things about postpartum and like how terrible it is, how hard it is. And I'm not going to say those experiences are invalid or even wrong or anything. Like, postpartum is hard, but I feel like, at least for me, I do better when I'm focusing on the positive. And I was so scared to be postpartum that I was literally having like anxiety attacks, and so I just want to help anyone who may see this. So the first one is I have a lot less fear since being postpartum. I did struggle with a little bit of postpartum anxiety, so taking that out, overall, my fear has been a lot less. For example, I used to be terrified to drive on the highway here in Atlanta. If you live here, you know it's 285 is insane. So I just would not drive on the highway because half the time where I'm going, it's about the same time distance anyway. So I would not drive on the highway, and I've driven on the highway since and didn't even think about it. Also, like rope climbs in the gym, I'm scared of heights, so rope climbs were a lot. They were a lot for me. I would get like halfway up the rope and then I'd be like, I don't want to do this, and I'd get down. And I've been able to not even think about how tall the rope climbs are. I just go up the rope and call it a day. And I don't know, I think that just maybe because I have more on my mind, I'm not overthinking the little things. That could be part of why. Also, number 2, I have a lot more motivation than I ever have. And I've always been a fairly motivated person, so that's saying a lot. Post-COVID, I had a hard time being motivated to come to the gym. I think like I just got out of the habit, and then the motivation kind of fell off, and I would still show up, but not as frequently as I wanted, and I would just kind of like go through the motions. And I had a hard time getting like excited to work out and just motivated for a lot of other things. And since then, I don't know if it goes along with just not having time to think about anything, but if something needs to be done, I just do it. I just go to the gym. I'm excited to be there. I work hard when I'm there. And then like even with cleaning, I don't think about cleaning. Stuff just needs to be clean, and I clean it. Also, number 3, my self-talk and self-image has gotten better. So I wouldn't say I was like the most insecure person ever, but also like we all have things we're not happy with ourselves for. But everyone tells me how much my daughter looks like me, and I just feel like, how can I think my daughter is the most gorgeous human on earth and just this amazing person, and then I'm telling myself I'm terrible, I'm ugly, and I'm not saying that to get like compliments or anything, but how can I tell myself like I'm ugly, I'm like not worthy when my daughter is the spitting image of me, and then like how can I say that about myself and not feel that way about her? I don't know if that makes sense. Also, I touched on this a little bit in a previous video I posted, but I'm more outgoing socially. I had some hard experiences back in like 2016 to 2019 with a few of my friends that just did not go over well. They were not very nice, and they stabbed me in the back. And so when we moved to Atlanta, I just kind of shut off, and I love the people that I've been surrounded with, and I'd be nice, but I wouldn't try to like create friendships or anything. And I feel like since I've had Adelaide, that has not been the case. I've been a lot more willing to put myself out there and make friends and be more social and go to like social events. So that's been really nice because I've always been I'm introverted, but I've always been a social introvert. So it's been nice to like have things that I'm doing socially. And then the last thing that I can think of is I'm able to push myself harder in the gym. And I think part of that is just once you've been through labor, like you realize even though I had an epidural, like it still was very hard. It still was one of the hardest things I did in my life. Obviously, I didn't feel a lot of pain, which is great, but like it's hard to be in labor. So I think after you've done that, you're just like, your workouts don't seem as intense anymore, so you're able to push yourself harder and just accomplish more when you're in the gym. Hopefully that makes sense. And then for habits that I did postpartum that I believe helped my mental health a little bit, I prioritized, and some of these were like specifically before I got my 6-week clearance to work out, and then some of these are after, but I prioritized my morning and night skincare routine. Even if that was just washing my face and putting moisturizer on, I made sure I did some sort of morning skincare routine and nighttime skincare routine. Sometimes it was the whole system, other times just washing my face and putting moisturizer on, or in the morning, moisturizer and sunscreen. It just made me feel fresh. It made me feel ready to go. And then alongside that, I would always try to, if I had time, put on a little bit of makeup. I don't wear makeup a lot anyway, but I would just do like concealer, a little bit on my eyebrows, a little bit of blush and lip tint and mascara, and call it a day. It just makes me feel more put together, especially because like one thing I was not prioritizing postpartum was doing my hair. I would just wash it, let it air dry, which I feel like was actually really healthy for it in the long run because my hair's looking really healthy now compared to previously. So I wouldn't necessarily prioritize my hair because I didn't care. I wasn't really leaving the house, and I would just focus on makeup and skincare. And then I made sure to shower every day. I remember seeing that this was something that a lot of moms struggle with, is showering every day. And obviously their experience is totally valid, but I just made a note of it, and I was like, I want to make sure to shower every day. So I got a little bouncer. I would just bring it if my husband wasn't home or we didn't have anyone visiting. I would bring the bouncer into the bathroom with me, shower with the curtain like halfway open, and just shower as quickly as I could. And if she cried while I was in the shower, it was fine. Like obviously I wasn't neglecting her, and it was just like gonna be a quick 5-minute shower. I just wanted to feel clean, I guess. And then I prioritized daily walks. Now I started daily walks at 5 days postpartum. Obviously everyone's different. I was fairly in shape before I gave birth and before I got pregnant, so listen to your doctor on that. But I just started 5 days postpartum with like the slowest, shortest walk of my life. And then I just did those every day if I could, if the weather allowed. And then if we did start a walk and Adelaide got fussy and wouldn't be soothed, I would just come back, and at least I got outside. So that helped a lot because I am an outdoor girl and I thrive off sunshine. So that was very important for me. And then when I got cleared, I've made sure to work out whenever possible or get daily movement in. So even if that is a walk and that's it, or if it's just like pelvic floor or something like that, I just want to make sure to be moving my body a little bit every day, even if it's only for 5 minutes while she's napping. And yeah, I've made sure to eat 3 meals a day and snacks. And part of this was helpful. My in-laws were staying with us for 3 months when I went back to work. And then they left after I quit my job because I quit because we did not want to send Adelaide to daycare. Luckily I was able to do that. But they were cooking for a while, so that really helped initially when I was very freshly postpartum. But I've just made sure, even if it's the simplest, easiest food, getting something with a little protein and a little fiber, and that has just helped me feel better. Even if it was just like a tuna packet and some fruit, like something easy, just making sure you're getting those calories in, especially if you're breastfeeding, it's very important. And then I made sure to drink water. I kept my brewmate filled constantly, and I just kept it next to me on the next to the rocking chair, and would just drink that as often as I could. Water is very important postpartum in general, but especially if you're breastfeeding. So that was a priority for me. And then this is going to be specifically for my coffee drinkers. I love coffee. It's one of my favorite little joys in life. So I made sure I had a coffee every day. And a lot of times I wouldn't get to it before it was cold. So I would just, it's not the like yummiest thing to do, but I would just pop it in the microwave really quick to heat it back up. And it just helped me feel more like myself. And then the last one is it's probably one of the more difficult ones on this list. I would sleep in whenever possible. Obviously, babies like to wake up early, and if you're breastfeeding, you have to wake up to feed them, so you can't really sleep in. But if she slept in, I was sleeping in, and since I've stopped breastfeeding, I've stopped doing that as much because my husband can also get up and feed her, and she's only waking up once a night now, so that helps. But up till I stopped breastfeeding, I would sleep in if she gave me the opportunity to sleep in, and I still wasn't getting enough sleep. I don't think any mom does get enough sleep, especially in the first year postpartum, but I do feel like not putting pressure on myself to get up early really helped me just feel better overall. And that is all I have for you guys today. I'm hoping this can help any mom who is, or pregnant woman who is getting ready for postpartum. It is not all bad. I'm not going to say it's easy. I'm not going to say there aren't hard things, but you can do it. And I just believe trying everything you can to get little habits in can definitely help you feel better. But even if you don't have time for that, I know everyone's situation is different. It is just a temporary phase in life. So you are able to get through it, and you just got to take it one day at a time. If you have any like recommendations or habits that helped you feel better during postpartum, go ahead and post them in the comments so other people can see them. And yeah, other than that, like, subscribe, comment what you did postpartum to help yourself out, and I will see you in the next video.